Entrepreneurship motivation. This is a talked about subject. I think I've seen it on every platform, but I just simply want to share my take on it, my inspirations, and then also how I deal with different, struggles. So anybody that's an entrepreneur, you can have a day to where you feeling like, you know, the man, you feeling, bank account looking right. You can have a day to like, man, am I doing this? What's going on? You might be have a day where you low. So you got your highs and low. What I'm getting at of entrepreneurship. So how do you cope with that? How do you cope with the stresses? Because I feel like entrepreneurs, no matter what space that you're in, that sometimes we can be not all the time, but sometimes we can be misunderstood. Because I always tell people, you're as an entrepreneur, you don't have a guaranteed paycheck, especially as a small business. I'm just speaking. I can only speak from the small business standpoint. So this is my take on it. But I always tell people that nothing is guaranteed. So every day we have to push, push, push. So let's get right to it. Motivation. For me, I'm in the gym industry. My motivation is, like I always tell people, I love helping people. That's how I stay motivated. Even on my tough days, sometimes I'll just come in here and sit in the gym, like and look around and see different people, talk to different people, and that's my why. I love the community that I've built. But how do you find your why? In different areas. So, how do you find it? My expertise on that is do something, have a release that you enjoy. So for me, on stressful days where I'm having a hard day where nothing can go right, one of my releases is running. I love running. Like it just, sets my mind free. It sounds cliche, but it's serious. Like 2 weeks ago, we had somebody broke in the gym, busted the front window. An hour later, somebody threw a medicine ball through the sheetrock, all like in an hour span before 6 a.m. Do you let your day be ruined from that? Because remember, you are in control. Don't forget these words. You are in control of your, day. So if you wake up saying it's gonna be a bad day, it's gonna be a bad day. I have it up in my gym. Your only limit is you. So when all these obstacles, come about, remember, you chose to do this. You chose to open a business. So you have to see how to take a step back and then gather yourself. So my motivation is one, the members, the gym, the people that we help. And then two, I make sure that I have, like a release. I love running. I love working out clearly. But also, if you're not in the gym industry, I highly, highly, highly suggest that, whether it's, sitting in silence, whether it's, simply, going on a walk, whether it's, going home, and having your me time, whatever the case may be, find that release because if not, you will go crazy. How do you deal with, financial struggles in, entrepreneurship? I feel like every small business has been there because, even though you might have, X amount in the bank and everything's doing good, you have to, it's always something in entrepreneurship that goes wrong. It's never going to be a smooth day or smooth week. Something is going to happen. So I always tell people to have a rainy day fund because something is going to happen. But let's get down to the the deep part that nobody talks about. Let's go down to what Instagram, what social media, what even sometimes YouTube won't show you. What do you do on days that you want to quit? What do you do on days to where it feels like nothing is working, or even where some of the closest people to you can't see your vision? Because I say we're often, in my opinion, sometimes that we're misunderstood because they be like, why put yourself through certain deals? But then when whatever idea you had succeeds or whatever business succeeds, then you're a genius. But it's very few that can weather the storm. That's why you see businesses open and close in some cases. And that's why entrepreneurship is not for everybody. So my advice to you is one, find your release, know your why that you're doing it, and also the financial part. Don't go out here and getting a ton of debt or don't have a plan. You have to have a plan from the very get go. In whatever industry you're in, you got to have a plan to, go by, and have different things planned out, have your unexpected things planned out. Because I can tell you, some around this bad boy, something happens every day, regardless if it's, $100 deal or a couple $1,000 deal. I have already prepared myself mentally that something's going to happen. So what I'm getting at is, at first, when I first got into business for myself, it would ruin my day. I didn't know how to control the mental part of owning a business. I didn't know how to control different things. So anything that happened, it ruined my day. To where I had to sit back and understand, I'm like, things happen, things go wrong. How are you going to deal with it and either improve that or just, either improve something that break, or some things you have no control of. But how are you going to deal with it mentally? I've already prepared myself mentally now that things are going to happen. I'm not going to get bent out of shape. They will get fixed, no matter, if I sit here and sulk all day, or if I sit here and go get it done. Secondly, my advice is I really, 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 really advanced when I got out of the mindset of not being cheap. When I say not being cheap, I was the kind that I didn't want to pay my staff. When I say didn't want to pay my staff, I only thought I needed one staff member and I could do everything because I want to save, X amount of dollars. But when I stepped back and built actual team that believes in red zone, just as much as I do, and I invested it, in that team. They can tell you I invested in that team to where it's not just me, but now I have personally 5 employees operating on all cylinders. But the old me, even 2 years ago, 3 years ago, I didn't understand that you have to build a team, and also not just a team of BS. You have to invest in that team if you want quality. And I was too cheap before. I didn't understand. I just thought like, oh, whatever. I'll pay somebody $8 an hour. They're coming here and they're going to work their ass off. No, that's not the case. Early on, I was very blessed with some people that helped me out. That helped me out in the beginning. When I say help me out, like they just believed in the brand. And I had, like, shout out to Daniel. He worked here for free for like the first 6 months when I first opened Red Zone, just because he believed in the brand that much. But that don't come every day. That ain't, yeah. So, but what I'm getting at, you have to be able to learn and roll with the punches and know that you cannot do it all yourself. You will kill yourself trying to do it all yourself. When I got a team and invested in that team, and we're moving in like as a unit, oh my God, it saved out so much. So like it saved us so much. So like it's a lot less stress on me now. So I can have more time with my family. I can have more time for, when I say recreation, just not working all the time. But you have to, one, have that plan, also have that team, but also be willing to learn more. When I say learn more, learn how to deal with the mental side of entrepreneurship, because it's not for the weak. You'll have days to where you're up, you'll have days to where you're down. And I'm not just talking about financially, I'm talking about mentally too, because especially in a business like I'm in a service business. So they don't care what's going on outside of here. They're paying me to be here, a friendly face, and not bring anything that's going on outside of here with me. So that takes a mental toll as well, because I'm in the business to motivate people to get better. So you got to make sure that you're operating on all cylinders. And that took me a while to learn, because I gave so much of myself to my business, to family, everything. That you have to remember that you can't operate from an empty cup. I'm telling you this right now. So you got to make sure that your mental, you learn how to deal with your mental battles. And I'm just simply putting the word battles on it, because it's not like necessarily that you're crazy or anything is wrong. It's just being a human. You need to find your outlet, find how you're going to deal with it mentally. So my advice for how you to deal with your mental struggles of entrepreneurship is simply like this: have good people around you, good energy. For me, my circle got really small. So the people I keep around me, they give me good energy. So, my family, my fiance, my kids, my close friends, I had a larger circle before. And that's no disrespect, even if y'all watching this video, it's no disrespect to anybody, but the people I need around me, we're going to feed off each other and give me that positive energy, because I need it in order to function. So make sure, long story short, keep good people around you, good energy around you. And remember that everybody is not your friend. A lot of times in business, most people just want stuff for free. So they're just using you as a convenience. Let me say that again. Most people are just using you as convenience and not your friends anyway, because they want whatever service you're offering for free. When I started charging people, I lost a lot of people that I thought was my friends, because at first I'm just like, oh yeah, come on through, come on through. You'll see who really supports you when you start charging. Secondly, make sure that you're financially prepared. Know that you're going to have hiccups. Know that every day is not going to be a record breaking day, but believe in yourself, believe in your vision that, yes, I know what I'm doing. This is just a bad day, a bad week, a bad month. We will get through it. Because if not, if you just dwell in the bad, it's going to take you out. So remember to always, sometimes you always have to take a step back, refocus, and there's nothing wrong with that. One of my third major keys is, when I say major, major, everybody has a different And I'm just gonna say, everybody has a different, I never talk about, religion or anything personally in a gym, but what do you believe in? What's your faith? What's your motivation? You know, whether, you believe in, God or something else. I'm just saying, find what, who is your faith? What is your faith? Because that's gonna weigh heavy, and that's gonna really weigh heavy on you. So, um, you know, that family, faith, and your why, I'm serious, you're gonna need it. And also make sure that you always refill your cup because you cannot operate from an empty cup. Y'all want more tips, or even heck, if you just going through it, holler at me, message me like, hey, I'm having a hard week. I'm having, we got 0 sales this week. We had 1,000 sales last week. My information is on this YouTube channel. Reach out to me. I'm always open to give advice. No, I'm not charging you. I'm not gonna hit you with a bill. This channel is just to simply help and be an aid. So message your boy. Come check out Red Zone sometime. Hope y'all have a great week.